So I'm sitting here in the parking lot at Walmart. I just bought a can of spray paint here. $7.42 by the time you add tax in for a can of Rust-Oleum. Trying to paint two wheels. I've got one coat of primer and one coat of white. I smoked a whole can with one coat of paint. So I'm on my third can of paint to paint this stupid thing. I have like $23 of paint just to paint two rims. That's pretty crazy. Inflation, baby, inflation. We're mounting the new tires on the rims here. We got this sweet tube to put in there. So we'll get that sucker in there and we'll mount them in. I'm probably going to end up destroying the paint on the rim, but I'll do the best I can. Got some of those good tubes, Airlock, made in Korea. Probably got them on eBay or Amazon, but just put this sucker together. I'm not gonna make a tire mounting video here. I've got enough of those, but let's get it on. I put some stuff in this cup, and no, it's not Mountain Dew. It's some dish soap mixed with some water. And I'm just gonna spread it around this bead here a little bit with my fingers. Give it a little bit of lubrication before I put it together. It was 19 degrees out this morning, and my garage isn't heated, so it's still pretty cold in the garage. I put the tires in the house overnight last night, trying to keep them warm so they're more like pliable. But I'll use my tire spoons and get it mounted up here. Well, definitely peeled off some paint here, getting the sucker mounted. It's just inevitable. It never goes right. So we'll pump her up and we should be ready to go with it. Then we gotta change the bearings and do the other wheel. All right, so both tubes are in, both tires are mounted. Let's see if we can put some wind in it, as they say in England. Well, I'm 2 for 2 on these freaking tubes. They both seem to have holes in them. This one's spraying air out like freaking crazy. I think. Let's see. I guess it could have been air that's trapped between the tube and the tire. Not clear about that. Let's see. Yeah, if I do that a couple times, is the tire flat? Let's see. Oh, this one. Oh, let me put some air in again. Let's see. There's gotta be a hole in it, man. There's gotta be. Let's try this one again. There's gotta be a hole in these tubes. They both freaking suck. If that's the case, I'm gonna be so mad. All this work. Nothing. Damn it. Well, either I popped the tubes mounting the tires or they suck, because neither one will hold air. Yes. Well, let's work on getting those bearing races out as long as we're this far. Get a punch and a hammer and we'll see if we can punch them out. Well, I just got a punch here and just going to go to the inside of these bearings with the punch and hammer them out. Go. It's moving. Okay. Easy enough. Flip it over. We'll do the other side. That one's out. We'll flip this one over. Do the other side. There we go. All right, 4 races are out. Things are junk. And neither one of my tires will hold air. So I guess we're taking the tubes back off. Pieces of junk. Well, I got the tube out. And let's pump it up and see what happened to it. Let's see here. There we go. Two little freaking nicks, huh? Yikes. That's all it takes. A little nick like that and you're freaking done. I should just try putting valve stems in and not using tubes. Give it a shot. Well, off to Napa, 5 minutes from my house luckily, and I'll score some 7/16 valve stems, and we'll see if we can just use that turd without tubes. I mean, it should work. Everything is really nice. The metal's nice. The tires are nice. So as long as we don't have too many pits on the rims, I don't see why it shouldn't work. Well, took a quick trip over to Napa. Got a patch kit for the tube and 4 valve stems. It was $6. So let's cruise back to the house and see if we can get these turds put in. I got my little Napa TR413 stems here, and hopefully we should be good. All right, let's see here. I got the valve stem in, the tire on again. Let's see what happens. I get this bead seated here. It's all kind of tough doing this one-handed out in the cold. Let's see. All right, so I got some new bearings on eBay. They're Chinese bearings, and this is pretty comical, but the newspaper that's in the box here is from California. It's all Chinese. Anyways, that's the first. Let's see what we got here. That should be it. There we go. Got 4 races and 4 bearings. Score. What kind of bearings are these beauties here? I think in real life it's called a Timken set 2. And it's LM 11910. And the other side is a LM 11949. And they use these things on trailer bearings, so you could get them in an auto parts store, but this is what we're going with. So let's take them out of the package and check out that race. All right, here's a nice new race, not pitted and all nasty. And let me see if I can find a driver to drive that in with. All right, I got my old Harbor Freight bearing and seal driver here. This one here is a 44 millimeter, I think it says, or 44.5 millimeter. That one looks like it's gonna do the trick. So we'll mount it on here and put our little screw in the bottom and try it. All right. So I got one race in the other side. You kind of got to get it centered in there, and where you think it's centered, then tap it in. It's not easy. Pretty much destroying the horrible Freight bearing driver. Tapped it out. Now I'm going to flip it over and go for the other side. I'll put this handle back on and give it some taps, and it will bottom out in the middle, hopefully. You'll hear it when it bottoms out. And if you look in the other side, you can see it because there's like a ridge in there that it has to go up against. So that's one wheel done. All right, just to illustrate that ridge, if you look in the middle of the wheel there, there's a little stop there it's got to hit, and it's on it. You can see it in this rim better down here. But that's where it stops. All right, so I got the valve stems are working, they're holding air. I got the 4 races in. Now we need to grease up the bearings and jack up the tractor and put the wheels back on it. Nice. And this side that got all smashed from mounting will be on the inside. So we'll have the side with no valve stem on the outside of the tire. So hopefully we're good. Well, you ever do something you think was smart? I had it up on a piece of firewood, and then it fell off the piece of firewood, and now the freaking axles are in the dirt. So I'm gonna have to get some kind of jack under there and jack it up and see what we can do. All right, so let's see if we can jack this sucker up out of the ground. It's at an angle, so more than likely it's gonna fall off my jack here. Oh yeah, got kingpins coming out of the dirt. That's awesome. Sure, they're in good shape. Good thing I'm putting new bearings on dirt covered spindles, right? I'm gonna be out of stroke on my jack soon, but maybe I can get my firewood back under there and start this all over again. This is an old jack. Used to be my grandfather's. And he hadn't worked since 1990 something, and it was his when he worked. Oh, it's old. It's a little loose, a little worn out, I think, but it is going. I think we're about out of stroke here. Cool, nice. All right, so the spindle isn't too bad. It's got a little bit of rust on it, but it will do. It'll wear off as soon as we start driving. So let's pack some grease in those wheels and put them on. All right, so I unscrewed it, jacked it up again. I got this spindle here high enough off the ground that I can get the wheel on it now. I should be able to, you know, get the other side on too, hopefully. Front axle moves nicely. That's good. A little bit of back and forth play, but not all that much. Let's go for it. Well, I do have to clean up this spindle because the new bearing won't go on it. So I'll take some brake cleaner, just give it a little spray, and I'm gonna take this wire brush and just brush it a little bit. I could use sandpaper, but all my sandpaper is not here. It's on a job I'm working on another property. So let me see if I can get this thing somewhat cleaned up enough that we can get the bearing over it. This is a greasy, nasty job, by the way. There we go. That's got to go over this back spot. So we're just about there. Anyways, come back to you in a minute. All right, that's good. We got that bearing on, and this is like a dust cover here that goes over it. Now I'll just go up there, and then I'm going to take some grease and really pack it around there, pack it inside the wheel, and put it on. All right, so we got those wheels on, looking sweet, man. I just got to tighten up these nuts. Got the old 15/16 here. One thing about playing with all this greasy crap, sure makes a mess. Thank goodness for these Harbor Freight blue gloves. They are saving my hands from being destroyed by grease. Let's see. Find the right kind of preload here. That's way too loose. I wish it was off the ground another inch or so. Getting all this grass stuck in there. Oh yeah, I think that's nice. Let's go do the other side now. Which, again, I got to jack it up more to do this. You get the idea. All right, so wheels are preloaded. The jack's out of there. I got to put our dust caps back on. And I will use my special dust cap hammer removal tool. Of course, I got it crooked. Come on, you piece of junk. Let's see. There we go. I'll do the other side here. Let's see. Sucker. That one's loose. Huh. Well, we're out of time for today. I have to pump up that back tire and fire it up and drive her out. I can't get this dust cap over here to stay on. I don't really understand what the deal is, but it's kind of like it's hitting the bolt on the spindle there. But everything looks right. I mean, the wheel's tight. There's nothing wrong with the install. I'm not sure why it's being a jerk, but we'll have to look at that again tomorrow too. We're supposed to get like 1 to 3 inches of snow, or 2 to 4, or an inch or something, depending on who you look at. So tomorrow we'll be putting that plow on.